So you guys should be able to see my multicolor screen here in the Camera Club's window, right?
Yes.
All right, well, skip Jim Bowman. I guess we'll go right to Jim Murphy. And see what you got here. Ooh, colorful.
Oh, wow.
These are all shot this Saturday, all shot at the same time. They're all they're all colorful. They're all a little bit out of focus. They're all kind of longer exposures, like a quarter of a second or something like that, because it's essentially it's a dark outside. And this one had a busy background, so I used the new masking thing in Lightroom, and it didn't do a great job on the hair. Her hair on the left there was a little funky. Anyway, I took it into Photoshop and put a background in it, and I found this new drop down thing. I think it was under solid backgrounds, but there was a drop down or something, and you could do all these things with colors and streaks and stuff. I'd never seen that before.
Oh,
So
okay.
I went with the red color for Christmas.
Yeah. Is that like a pointy ear sticking out of your head?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's they're Santa's little helpers. So
I gotcha.
now I didn't realize that I put how did I get my name on there? I guess I clicked. They're all going to probably have my name on it. I didn't really mean that,
Yeah,
but
they do.
yeah.
What event were you at?
This was in Tucson, called the Prado Lights.
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna get my cursor here real quick. Hang on.
Cool photo.
Used to go away.
Yeah, I like it. It's really cool.
I put
Yeah,
a topaz. I put a topaz effect on it to try and hide the bad masking.
well, it worked. Yeah, actually, one of my real good friends in Napa that does mostly, in fact, almost all portraits. He does a little product. He was complaining about the very same thing. He says he has to go to Photoshop if anybody has hair and he has to mask them out.
Right.
So it's just not there yet. And then we got into this long discussion about why the Photoshop masks don't go into Lightroom and vice versa, which would be nice. You know, if you're making masks in Lightroom, why they don't carry over to Photoshop as selections, and then you could use them on whatever layer you want. And, yeah.
I thought it was kind of interesting. There's a couple, the girl on the left, the green, there's a couple individual hairs that picked out that were sticking up there. I could have done without those, but it picked those ones up for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you can always go into the mask and get rid of those. You know?
Yeah, I can get rid of it.
And then here got mushy.
Yeah, that's where the big problem came in, was over there.
Yeah. But I think overall it looks pretty good. Yeah. Okay. But the thing with the masking in Lightroom is you can only use it for local adjustments. You can't really use it to knock it out of the background, which would be nice if they worked better with hair and so forth. So did you have problems with the hair in Photoshop as well?
I didn't do the hair in Photoshop. In fact, I didn't notice the hair right at first, and then I was like, oh, screw it. Like, I'm not going to redo it. It's too much work.
Right. No, I think it looks fine.
Yeah.
You know, there is a trick you can do, you know, with just a little thin brush where you can just paint in the hairs you want, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, in Photoshop, just take like a 2 or 3 pixel wide brush and you just use the option key or the alt key on the PC to picking different colors as you paint them in, you know, so they vary. And then you can also do pressure sensitivity if you've got a tablet, so that the harder you push, the bigger the hairs get, and then that varies it as well. You know, so that's one way you can do it.
Hey, James, the girl in green, did she really have piercings in her cheeks?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
You should have seen the rest of her outfit. It was quite.
Oh yeah, she's got some under her lips here too.
I just don't think I've ever seen piercings in cheeks before.
Yeah. The funny part was she had on this outrageous outfit, but when I talked to her, she was just real self-conscious and shy. You would think that maybe she would be more outgoing, but she wasn't.
Interesting.
That's what costumes can do for you.
Yeah, I guess.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah. Like Halloween, when all the
wondering-
crazies come out. They're in costume, yeah.
Did you
Okay.
use a different technique on the two different faces? The girl on the right in the red sweater looks like a little more faded or dreamy looking than
I
the.
think, no, I didn't. They had some, yeah, I think just makeup. I think they had on, the girl on the left had on a lot of makeup, and the girl on the right had very little makeup.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know, ladies, I think they call that foundation. Is that right?
Yeah, she's got a pretty strong base or a very strong skin color, because I can see down here it matches. Yes, it's probably her skin tone as well.
Yeah, she's had some Hispanic blood, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got those vampire
Talons?
nails too. Talons, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, all right, moving on.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
hey,
Yeah, these are just a bunch of people queuing up before the parade, and it had kind of a nice background with the mural, so
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
just grab that shot.
I really like the way the light's grazing the mural and bringing out the brick pattern.
yeah.
It's real nice. Was there any more detail up in the highlights here that you could pull in, or was that about it?
I could pull more detail in there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a little bit of this kind of stuff up there.
Okay,
And then you could selectively pick the darker faces and bring them up.
right. I didn't really, this is almost out of the camera, really. I didn't do,
Okay. Yeah,
I didn't do much with this one. I just kind of,
and then I would just maybe from here down get this, so it doesn't look like it's
okay,
screwing
yeah,
up.
going right into, sticking right into his head. That's no
Yeah,
good.
and you can take the whole thing out, but
I
maybe
know.
start from the bat down, and that would probably take care of it. Jackie, are you familiar with some of the software and mask?
Not at all. No, this
Not
is
at
my first venture into this
Okay.
world, so.
What do you use for software? Do you use any?
Well, I did Adobe Photoshop maybe 5 years ago, and then I kind of went away and came back. So it's all
Okay.
new to me. And I came to the presentation you had, what, a week ago or so?
Yeah.
Looked like what I wanted to do, but I have no experience.
Okay. Well, hang in there and absorb what you can. And if there's something you don't understand, these are all recorded and you can go back and go over them again. With that in mind, let me just grab this one and explain what we're doing. I'm going to open this in Photoshop. And there's a, let me get out of that. Close some of this stuff down. I usually dock it to the top just so I can move it around and it's not stuck in a frame. It's just an old habit of mine. Under filter, there's a camera raw filter, which basically on bringing your images in, if you shoot raw, and I suggest you do instead of JPEG, that's where you would go and balance your image. You've got all your normal basic adjustments here, and then there's some other things you can do. But in addition to that, a while back, they added this masking feature where you can localize your masking. You can do it by subject, you can do it with a brush, you can do it with a gradient, so on and so forth. Right now, I'm just going to take a brush real quick, and I'm just going to hit some of these darker faces. Okay. Yeah, maybe a little bit right here. All right. And then what I'm going to do is first I'm going to take white and see if I can bring it up. Yeah. See, I'm going to overdo it first. You see how the faces are coming up? Yeah. So that's a local adjustment through a mask. You can also, fiddle around with exposure and so forth. And if you see it spilling over, like see over here, I'm getting a little bit. If you hold down Option key or Alt and PC, and I'm only going to say that once so everybody knows. You can go back and just erase the mask where you don't want it if it's spilling over anywhere.
So you're saying they're too bright, Sandy, so you're gonna tone them down a little bit?
Yeah, I
Those
made it
faces
bright because I
really-
wanted to, yeah, I made it bright, A, to show you where it was, and B, to show you it was spilling over onto the background behind them. So now that I've done that, I'll bring it back to where I think it should be.
Yeah, that's better.
Somewhere down in there. Yeah. So basically, if you hover over that mask, you've got a little eyeball here, and you can turn it on and off and see what it's doing. You know, you can adjust from there. So it gives you a before and after. So that's a real useful tool, the camera raw, and I'll be using that throughout this lecture today.
I have a stupid question. Can you shoot RAW with a cell phone? Probably not.
Yes, you can.
Can you?
At least with an iPhone. I'm not sure about Android devices, but with an iPhone, you can.
I have the iPhone, so,
Yeah, which one?
but
do you
I'm
have?
doing, you have it in there. I have the
Yeah,
14.
Which iPhone is it?
It's a 14.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, you can go into your camera settings and shoot. I think they call it ProRes or RAW. Yeah, but that
ProRes for RAW.
either RAW or ProRes, RES. Yeah, I think
I'll
that
try
might
to find
be
it.
it. Yeah, you can do that. And then also up when your camera's on, there's like a little over on the top that says RAW, and you can tap it to turn it off if you're like just shooting something for reference. So you don't have these big files because they're about 40 megs each.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sandy, you talked about doing something with the bricks towards on the top. What were you looking at?
Oh, okay, I just closed it. Let me go back. Is it still up? Yeah, it is. Okay. So what I would do is, again, with the local masking, which you get here, I would take a bigger brush, maybe something like that. And you see that you got an inner and an outer circle there?
Yes.
That's your feathering. So basically, I just feather it down like that. And also you have over here, you can control your feather and you can control your density and your flow. So if I bring the flow down a bit, because this area I don't think needs it as much, then I just kind of click it in there. Now, if you're not sure how much to click it in there, you just do the correction, and then you can start feathering it in by picking and painting. So in this case, I'm going to take the highlights down. There you go. And maybe pull a little white out. See how that pulls in more detail?
So were you doing that as opposed to what you showed first?
No, it's the
Just
same
another way to
thing.
do it?
It's just I'm masking this area off instead of their faces. So basically now I have, I lost the mask to their faces because I came out of it. So this mask here, see where the blue is?
Yes.
Yeah, that is affecting just the area where it's blue. So if you see how I turn it on and off, you can see how it's working. Now it looks like it's getting a little muddy. So the other trick that I usually do is I'll change the temperature. Usually I tend to go to warm because usually it turns muddy and it wants to go warm. But in this case, I think if we make it a little bluer, not much, but just a little bit, I think that helps. Okay. So that's how you do that. And then again, if you want to do the faces, you wouldn't do it with the same adjustment. You'd come up here and do a create new mask. So that we go here, create new mask, and then we pick brush or whatever we wanted to use. And then we just go back here and do the faces. And again, same kind of thing. We pull the whites up. Oh, I got my flow way down. If you don't see it coming up really quickly, you know, you have your flow down. There you go. Now you can see it's coming up. There we go. So basically, so now I have two masks. And if you aren't sure by what they are, you can hover over them And you can also double click the name and name them. So I can say faces on that one. And I can change this one to brick. There you go. So now you know which is which. So if I
Yeah.
want to do a brick, I can change that if I want, maybe I want to, make it whatever. So,
Yeah.
and then if I just want to go back to the faces, I can adjust them as well accordingly. So I can
Thank you.
take the whites up and down. You're welcome. Okay, moving on. Oh,
So I have badly underexposed this one when I took the shot, and so I had to work on it quite a bit. But I used that new masking feature in Lightroom where it's got a mask for sclera,
mhm.
and I clicked on that and did that, and it really kind of brought the eyes out quite a bit more. So that was kind of nice. So. And
So
then
do you have-
I had to lighten the face up a whole bunch. I mean,
Yeah.
it was real dark.
So did he have like a battery or a power source for these?
Yeah, a lot of
Okay.
people were wearing lights and they had a little battery source on them. This
cool.
kid with ADHD, I had a hard time getting him to stand still. He was running around climbing the walls, I'll tell you.
Too much sugar, huh?
Yeah, he was going crazy, but I did get him to stand still a little bit. So
Good. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna use these for examples. So when Jim's talking about Lightroom, basically it's the same in Camera Raw and Photoshop, except the names and the placement of the different effects sometimes are exactly in the same place. But so if we went to do a local masking again here, it recognize this as a person. So if you click on that, it lets you do all these different things. So you can do the face skin, the body skin, the eyebrows, the sclera, which is what he was talking about, the iris and pupil, and so on. So maybe we wanted to do the face skin as well. All right. So you can either output these as one thing, or you can do separate masks so you can control each one individually. So we'll do that instead. Okay. So now you can see, here's his pupils, here's his sclera, and here's his face skin. So if we go to the face skin, for instance, we can, maybe lighten it up even a little more. You could even, cool it off if you wanted to. He's got those blue highlights, kind of bring those in a little bit. Maybe brighten the exposure up a little bit. And see, it's not doing anything to the eyes. So now we'll go to the sclera. And in that, I would generally just bring the whites up a little bit. And sometimes the clarity, but if they've got red in their eyes or something, this shot doesn't, but you probably don't want to do much of that. You can bring exposure up just a tad, but you don't want them glowing in the dark either. Like that black cat or you see to the eyes or something. Okay, and then I don't know if there's much in the pupil. We can look at that. Let's just crank the exposure way up and see. Yeah, so you could kind of cheat that up a little bit too. So there you go. So here's your before, here's your after. Okay. I'll go away. Can't seem to get rid of this. There we go. Okay.
Dropped in. I took like three girls together, but then I liked her face the most, and I liked the expression she has. She's getting a little side eye there. And so I just cropped out the other ones. And it's, it's pretty soft, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of angelic
Mhm.
and getting a little motion blur, but I think it lends to it.
Yeah, I'm okay with the blur on this one. So not like when I'm shooting my birds, I always want them sharp usually, but
Right.
for certain things, having things soft, I think is effective.
Yeah, I think in this case, it's a little flattering. More than just crisp, hard, sharp image. So she even had lights in her collar
Yeah.
there. I like the reflections in her eyes.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
Yeah, I wish the left eye I guess I didn't really work on that too much, but I could bring that left eye out a little better.
Yeah, and pretty much the way we did it before. And
Right.
what you could do is when it selects the sclera, you could go in and wipe down the one that's already there. You could erase it or erase part of it if you wanted to have a little effect, and then work it that way. In fact, let's do that real quick. We're gonna get all the technical stuff out of the way in the beginning here. So, all right. So if we go back here, see if it finds her. Yeah, there she is. All right. So we're just gonna take sclera, and maybe we'll do the pupils too. Okay. We create two separate masks. There's a couple of ways you could do this. You could either duplicate the sclera and then erase one, or you could just take
Yeah,
it.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, or the other thing you can do is just take it, watch the eye that you really want to affect first. Okay, so you get it up there a little bit. Okay. And if it's getting too bright on this one, you just hold down your option key. Well, you want to do a remove, I'm sorry. So you have to subtract.
Subtract.
You don't have to hold your option key down at all. Just take brush, go in there, and I would take my flow down. So you can just kind of, every time you click it, just keeps taking it down. There we go. And then if you want to bring it back a little bit, hold the option key and go the opposite way. That brings it back. So that's that. And then if we wanted to try the pupils, we could grab those and see if maybe. Somewhere there, and then maybe a little clarity, which is down on the bottom here. Yeah, I think the clarity helps. All right, let's see.
That looks better.
Yeah.
I'd probably sharpen the lid margins on the left eye a little bit too.
Mhm.
Well, we don't need to do that, but I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, exactly. So again, if you were going to duplicate this, say we wanted to bring the eye up even more, and you don't want to do anything, the size perfect, we can take this, we go back to the sclera, and then we hit these three dots here, and we duplicate. Once it's duplicated, you'll say copy. Then you can go and on the subtract area, which is this brush with the little negative thing on it, we go there and we take our flow all the way up and we just go over here and just get rid of it. Okay, and then we just want to work, we'll just work on the one eye. So it's we're doing it, but just so you get the idea. So you would just take this one just Let's see. There we go. Okay. So there's your before, there's your after.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of a weird noisy feedback. Is that anybody?
I don't know where it's, I don't think it's me.
Nope, it's
Not
stopped.
me.
Stopped.
Might be at the club. There's the classroom was up in there. Well, we'll see. Okay. Okay. So go to the next little cutie here. So this is a holiday parade they had?
Yeah. It's called the Parade of Lights, and hence everybody, a lot of floats with lights and people are wearing lights. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't
This
think
girl was a real, actually very introverted and very shy. I spoke with her a little bit, and
yeah.
but
Yeah.
she was up for having her picture taken. So
Well, you could do a couple things here. You could open this up just a little bit. And I would also bring the highlights down just in the shirt so that it's not competing with her face. I would do that first, and you might not have to do anything with the face. So yeah, I'd probably take the highlights and the whites down on the shirt with the local masking as I just showed you. And then if you need to open the face up a little more, you can do that.
I don't know if the top of her nose is blown out or not, but that probably could come down too.
Yeah, and while you're doing this, again, you could tickle this in with a low flow, so it's not exactly the same that you use here, although it's looking about as brighter. So you may just put it in full force and then see how it works, and then tickle it away if it's too bright. Yeah.
Something about that reminds me of the Mickey Mouse Club for some reason.
Sure
We
does.
grew up with that.
Yeah.
It's really fun. That's a fun photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of Star Wars people there. I didn't
Oh,
include
yeah.
any picture, but there was stormtroopers and all kinds of Star Wars cosplay people.
And Rudolph the pickup truck, huh?
Yeah, there you go. There was a really cool 39 Chevrolet, kind of a cross between a bus and a station wagon, and had like 6 doors on each side. It was a pretty cool looking car.
Fun. All
So
right.
Jim, was this in Tucson
Tucson, yes.
last week or?
Saturday. Yeah, it's every, they have it every year right before Christmas.
Oh, great. Be fun to go next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be a good field trip for the camera club.
Yes.
Yeah, that could be a nice outing. Okay, let's go to Kim. Oh,
This is all old stuff. I've been out shooting, but haven't had a chance to mess with anything. I can't even tell you the name of this plant. They're green. It's all green leaves. This is just after a rain shower. So just converted it into black and white. I just liked the look of it a lot better. It brought out the detail of the raindrops, the detail in the leaves, the edges and everything. And took it into topaz just to bring out detail and contrast a bit more.
mhm. Yeah, I like the layer of focuses too. You got the soft stuff going on behind, framing the sharper leaves there, and then the water droplets themselves. Yeah, that's real nice. Nice. Okay.
And then this is the barrio area where Wally takes the windows and doors tour. I did that with him last year, and then I've actually gone to the area myself once or twice.
Mhm.
And just again, Lightroom, and then into cropped it a bit, and then into Topaz to bring out the detail of all the shrubs. Blue is brought up the colors a little bit, but the blue is pretty accurate. That's kind of what that wall looks like. Brought up the detail in the greens in the door a little bit more.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the asymmetry works where the door's not dead center and
Mm-hmm.
got a little bit with the bench carrying off to the edge there.
And I like the way the bench draws your eye up into the door, to the pathway there,
Mhm.
the angle of it.
Yep.
If that wasn't there, it would be quite a different photo.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Okay.
And then this is back in the Midwest. These are bleeding hearts.
Hmm.
Macro shot. Shallow depth of field, obviously, but I wanted to keep the stems. I debated about how, I mean, it is cropped some, but I wanted to keep the stems in there, so I didn't crop in any closer because I like the leading lines of those
Hmm.
blurred stems going to the flowers.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Neat. Yeah, I think that works out real well. This kind of makes you want to see more,
Okay,
which is good. Yeah, I don't know if I'd take it out or not. I think, yeah, maybe mute it down just a hair.
mute it down. Okay.
Just a little. Probably just desaturate a little bit.
Uh-huh. Okay. And then we're back to the windows and
Oh,
doors.
yeah.
Mhm.
And same area, same general area. I just liked even though it is actually 3 items because you've got the light above the door, but I like the size difference between the door and the recessed door, and then the window. But then the red and white just really caught my eye,
Mhm.
and the red edging on the side of the sidewalk also.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
I kind of like how the shadows are there also.
Uh-huh.
Makes it a little interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a nice long shadows going. And you still have plenty of detail in here. Nice. Nice. Maybe you could pull a little more detail down here where it's starting to blow out.
Okay.
Not much. I don't think you need
Uh-huh.
How would you do that, Sandy?
it. Same way, local masking. You know, and just pull your highlights because that's where it is. So basically, go back to camera raw. I'm just gonna check this area over here. Now these are
Just
on.
in Lightroom? Is that where you are?
No, I'm in Photoshop using camera raw filter
Okay.
under filters. So it pretty much brings up the same kind of interface as Lightroom, although things aren't always exactly where they were. Now we can grab a brush again, or let's just do like a linear gradient this time. And I'm just going to pull one across here.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you grab the center, you can position it where you want. And you can do that after you make your exposure too. And then we can subtract the areas we don't want. So we're going to take the highlight detail down. Okay. And then we'll compensate by bringing the whites back up. And then the other thing we probably should do is bring the clarity up a little bit. There you go. In fact, you could probably do most of this with clarity without even doing local masking. Let's delete this mask here real quick. And get out of that. And just go with clarity. And see what clarity does. Yeah, clarity might be enough. Problem is when you do it globally, it's affecting everything, okay?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it
that's
brings
why
the
I would do
shadows
it
down
through a
a lot.
mask. Yeah, if you do it through a mask, then it's not gonna affect your doors,
Right.
your sidewalks and everything else.
Okay.
And again, to counteract it, you just bring your whites back up. Now, if you did do it overall like this, whatever you did in your clarity, I got 75 here. If you go to your mask, take a brush and just paint this area. Okay. And then you take your clarity to the minus.
75.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, okay.
Fix it right back to where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But then the paint color is different from the window now.
Well, you gotta do them both.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you don't always have to go exact. You could bring it down a little bit if you want to have a little more flavor to it.
Mhm.
Kind of like, cooking, you just flavor to taste. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to change that hotkey because it seems to work for more than one thing. Okay. So let's go back to. There we go.
Last one.
Yeah.
And boy, that looks darker than it does on my screen.
Yeah.
Again, down in that barrio area, and I liked the groupings of threes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, you could highlight these guys by just
Right.
masking them and making them a little brighter. Then you'd have a little more separation,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even darkening the sidewalk up a little bit with a gradient ramp like we did.
Okay.
before. And then if you wanted to open these windows up a little, but nah, I don't think so. I think they'd compete. But yeah, you've got 333 here.
Mhm.
You even got 3 here. Yeah, with
Yeah.
these lines going. Yeah.
I
Nice.
hadn't even thought about that. Right.
You got 3, yeah, your thirds everywhere. Odd numbers. Well, great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so let me hide Photoshop. See what I'm doing. Get my go back. Okay, Todd, you got a couple.
Yep.
All right. So it looks like
oh,
Well, what I was interested in this one is what you showed in our meeting and trying to put the sun rays
okay.
coming out. I don't know if it would work for this or not.
Yeah, I think
Great
it'll work.
Pyramid of Giza, but
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go to the other one first and then we'll come back and play with this one.
all right.
All right. So where are we?
nice.
This is in Zion National Park.
Okay. Well, again, playing with your highlights, I think you can get a little more detail in here. Oscar dehaze might work, but you want to make sure you leave it in this area because I think it works to separate as you're stepping back to have that haze. So just quickly get in here. All right. So here's dehaze, and you can see it's quickly going to kind of affect everything. So you're going to want to do that through a mask. Clarity is also going to do the same thing, but not quite so much. Maybe just a hint of clarity there. So let's see how well it finds the sky. You've got subject, sky, and background. Let's look for sky. It did a pretty nice job. Okay. So in the sky, that's where I think maybe we want to play with the clarity a bit. There you go. Maybe kind of make it a little more storm-like if you want. Looks like you got some snow coming down.
Mm-hmm.
Bring your whites back up a little bit. Maybe take your blacks down a little bit. Depends if you want to really get stormy, you can take them all the way down. And again, up to your taste, the artist.
What would you do to pop the yellow some more?
Well, that I would do
Luminance.
with the main areas. You can play with vibrance, but that's going to affect everything. Yeah, it seems to work pretty well. I usually stay away from saturation because it tends to get rid of the detail. I mean, you can bring saturation up, but maybe just a hair, like 3, 4. Yeah, that could work. So that's where you're going
I do.
Is there a way to bring out the red in some of those rocks?
Yeah. What you can do is go down into color mixer here. And use saturation and luminance. Let's go to luminance first and just see what it does. Reds and oranges. There we go. Make it a little brighter. Maybe take the yellows down just a hint. And then we go to saturation, and you can look with your oranges and your reds. So I don't think you need much. It's probably a little too much. Now, again, if you want to selectively hit some of these areas, there's another mask technique where you hit that, hit a new mask, and you can go by color range. Okay. And in that case, you take your little eyedropper and choose the color you want, maybe like this orange red here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And once you have that, you can play with your saturation. See how it comes up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you can do that. And you've got a refine slider here. So if you want it to affect more area, you can bring it up, or less area, you bring it down. But like, the middle's pretty good. And then there's an amount on all these masks. So if you get it to a point, you don't want to move all these sliders. So you got a bunch of sliders that are doing different things. You can trim it down so there's less, or you can really go to town and double it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of an overall slider. So if you got all these things tweaked in, but you want a little brighter or darker, you can just change the amount. And that works out like here. If we go back to the sky mask, you've got a slider there. So if you don't want that much, you can bring it down, or if you really want a lot, you can crank it up and get ready to head for the hills. Yeah. Okay. So
I wonder what it would look like in black and white.
well, let's see if the hotkeys work on this. No, they don't. If you just hit a V, usually that would do it. Let's take the profile and we'll try monochrome. There you go.
You lose the yellow tree though. Would you like to put the yellow tree back in with the black and white?
Yeah, you could do that. You just you make 2 of these basically. You know what I would do. Let's go back to color here. So I save this one, all right, and then I would duplicate this layer. Okay. And then I take that layer and make it black and white. Now you could do it here. You don't have to go into camera raw again. You could just go black and white. Okay. And then you've got all your sliders to affect what you want. Ways. See how you get your gray tones where you want them. Okay. Once you have that, you've got a mask here. Okay. So white reveals them, black gets rid of it. So if you go to your brush over here, say you want to just bring those back, you could just paint those in.
Maybe just the tree.
Yeah.
And
Or
then the
whatever you
rest,
want. Yeah.
the rest black and white.
Yeah, and if that's too much, instead of doing black or white, you could do, more toward white or even middle gray. More toward white, it brings it back to black and white. The more toward black, it brings it to full color. So somewhere in between here is going to give you, more of a muted result. So there's just a hint of that color there, which might be a little more pleasing. Kind of look like an old hand-colored photograph or something like that. I think there's some new area there.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. All right, so now we're going to go to this guy. So I would take him into Luminar Neo, which I showed the other day. And there's some of my old photos there. Let me grab that real quick. So, just gonna drag and drop it over here. There we go. So if we go to edit, first I might want to change the sky. So we can select the sky. I don't know. Maybe it's just a nice day. Seems like it's taking longer than it used to for skies. I don't know why. You can see there's a little bit of a roll around them. So you go into mask refinement and you want to close the gaps. Fix details. Yeah, it's helping, but it's not quite there. It would be nice if they gave us a brush, but
Yes, it would.
they haven't. So I guess the other way you could do that would be to do it in Photoshop using the sky replacement, but we'll leave it there for now. And then your sun rays is here. Okay. Say since you guys are glowing anyway, I'm going to place this sun maybe behind. I'll just put it behind you, Todd. And we'll just kick it up. Whee!
Oh my gosh.
And then
Oh,
what I
that's
can
pretty
do is
funny.
I can change the penetration so it's maybe it just kind of peeking through.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so you can do that.
So just out of curiosity, can you do that on both my wife also?
You'd have to save it and come back and do it again. Oh, no, wait a minute. Now I think I could close it and open it again. Yeah. Used to have to like close it and redo it. But yeah, let's close it up. And let's open it up again. Maybe it'll give us two suns. Yeah. Maybe it will. Okay. Yep. They're both beaming personalities.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so you can do that. And I suppose if you wanted to put one, on the top of the pyramid, you could do that too. No, not sky. I want to go back to sun rays here.
A possible workaround for that sky would be use the light colored clouds that you wouldn't see the gaps so much
Right.
instead of the blue, which makes
Yeah,
it.
we could change that background. Okay, so here we got one up here too. Okay, now say we only want them going up, right? So what we do, we get a mask and we take a brush and we erase. And we'll just erase the ones we don't want.
Oh. Wow.
Just where there's red, you'll see beams. There you go. All right, so now if we go back to sky, if I open this up, it's going to give me a new sky. I think I want to, so in this case, you go to edits and that shows you everything you've done. So you can see here, you got 3 suns and a sky. So we go to the sky, we can just change it. Jim's suggestion, a lighter sky. See if I can find something really light. A lot of clouds. Maybe that one. Yeah, there we go.
Pretty amazing what you can do with this.
Yep. Yeah. There you go.
Wow.
Oh,
That was
wow.
fun. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Well, thanks for bringing those in.
Yep.
Okay, Wendell.
Okay, yeah. Okay, this is from the Mescal field trip a little over a week ago. And this was an old set house that they had out there along with an old beat up wagon. And I had a problem because that rail fence had one more section and a post going out to about where the front door of the house is. So I had to spend a lot of time with the clone tool in Photoshop to get rid of that.
Mhm.
And it was a little messy on that porch around the Christmas tree. So I did, as Jim Murphy did, I put it into a topaz painterly effect to hide the soft, kind of messy cloning that I did.
Mhm.
And this is the Topaz Happy Little Trees filter, which I kind of like just because it's got some detail, but not a lot of detail. It just kind of looks like a watercolor painting, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So they don't have a happy little Christmas tree yet, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's doing the usual artifacts that you
Yeah.
see as, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
you can just grab a color here and bring it down here. I don't even think you'd have to clone it since it's painterly, just kind of tint it.
Yeah.
A lighter color maybe.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I did see on the Christmas tree, the left and right sections between the railing posts came out light colored
Mhm.
compared to the color of the trees. So I had to fix that up.
Yeah.
But otherwise did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Looks nice.
So
I like the
and
shadows.
What's that red thing under the wagon there?
I'm not sure. It's
What's
just
the red?
like a big red can or something setting underneath there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it was a fire bucket or something.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Well, you have the green and the red. You got Christmas all right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
one little thing I noticed on the wheel, the furthest right in the picture, there was a broken section of the wood out. It still had the steel rim on it, but I was able to clone in a piece of the wheel further up and get it rotated and fit it in there. Actually, I didn't clone it. I just did a copy and paste, and
Uh-huh.
so I could rotate it to
Yeah.
right angle. So I fixed the wheel for them.
Good.
Wendell, is there any way for you to show the original
Not
photo?
here. You can come to the black and white tomorrow and see it. I've got it in there.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, if you, I don't know, do you get the email announcing the black and white SIG where you can get the link to it?
I will log on to that so I can.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, I do show the original and then the modified version. But anyway, it took a bit to get that rail out of there.
Mhm.
I bet.
Now, there's a trick. I don't know if you know it or not, Wendell, when you rotate something that's got a center point, you can change where the pivot is and make it easier.
Oh, Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'll bet you just
Yeah,
like, yeah, you probably just cut like that and then did a
yeah,
copy and paste. And
yeah,
then when you go to transform it, the pivot's in the middle, so it goes that way.
yeah.
Well,
Oh,
but if you take that pivot and you bring it down here,
oh,
yeah,
oh,
see,
oh, okay.
you gotta move it around the way you want it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's a
yeah.
neat little trick.
I have to remember
Come
that.
across that again.
Yeah,
Or, however you want to do it. You can put this pivot anywhere, but a lot of times I'll put it just in the corner, but I just want to rotate, something right.
oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but with
'cause
the
I-
wheel, it's pretty simple. You just put it at the center of the radius and away you go.
Yeah, because well, like you figured, I did rotate the whole box and then I'd use the
Yeah.
shift keys or the arrow keys to move back and forth till I got.
Yeah. Used to be that's what you had to do before they put the pivot in there. But that,
Oh, okay.
when they added that, it made life a lot easier.
Yeah.
Uh, just a
Anyway.
thought. I would probably lighten the tree up maybe a little bit too, or add some green to it, just so it kind of pulls it forward too.
Yeah,
Other than that, looks really nice.
I kind of like just that L shape between the post of the fence and the bed of the wagon there that kind of shaped the
Yeah.
as the corner of the house, and
Yeah.
I just went right up to the dormer.
Well, yeah, and then the shadows continue over, so you got this whole frame going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Wendell, did you vignette that or is just the top corners dark? That's just the natural sky.
No, they are darkened a little bit. What I did in Photoshop, I just used the burn tool, a pretty good sized brush on it, and just zip around the corners. Sometimes, anyway, I do use the vignette tool also, but sometimes I just, especially where I didn't want the lower left any darker, I
Right.
just take the burn tool and the corners at about 15% or something like that.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm. Okay, this was a lady playing banjo at the Mescal. And I had another picture of her, different view, but I ended up liking this one better. And this is just done in, started out in Lightroom, but ended up in Photoshop where I could do a little touch up better.
Mm-hmm.
I like the shadows in that photo.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because there's some to the right, I think probably a post along the porch.
And her hat, you can see her hat.
Yeah.
And
Reiteration.
reflection.
Yeah. And she's got her eyes closed or almost closed. So I didn't do anything with that. I didn't have any eyes to borrow from somewhere else. I left them closed. I figured she was visualizing the music she was playing or something.
Yep.
But it's pretty much straightforward. Just cropped in a lot from the original because I was across the street when I took it.
I like the lace.
Yeah.
Framing her there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
Same place, just one of the other buildings. This one I worked quite a bit at to tone down the reflections in the windows.
Yeah.
They were awfully bright. And in fact, there's a woman standing to the right side of the right-hand window with blonde hair, and I really worked
Oh,
quite
no,
on all that, so it wasn't obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to whiten up the chair itself a little bit. So,
Yeah, I think you balanced it out nicely.
Mhm.
and then I had to do some skewing and tilting to get the lines on the edges vertical around the windows.
Yep.
And I thought it was a nice little kind of a setting there. And those windows must be awfully rounded or rough because the way the reflections are, it's almost like a
Yeah.
mirror.
Yeah,
Maybe
like
just
front
single
house.
layer glass.
Oh,
Yeah, it could be float glass too, that
Yeah.
older glass, yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
gotta just clone these little guys out.
I toned them down, but I probably should have just taken them out. They
Yeah,
were brighter to start with, but
yeah.
I think they're tops of bottles or something inside the building there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in that case, maybe just really tone them down or just get
Yeah.
rid. They just seem to.
Yeah.
Nice chair here.
Yeah.
I think it's alien spaceships reflected off the glass.
A squadron. There you go, Ted.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the trading post at Mescal. And this one, I thought it was interesting. There's a lot of stuff there. And that's why I used the white vignette on it to just tone down the perimeter stuff and allow the eye to focus on the door itself, which I lightened up a little bit. Then there's a deer hide, I guess it is, hanging on the wall, and Christmas decorations and some old bags and stuff.
Mhm.
Thought it was kind of a neat picture, but just too much detail in the original. So that's all.
If that's an antelope, because I know when I was in Africa, they had a lot of skins like that where they had the black
Oh.
markings on the bottom. Yeah, that might be an antelope, actually.
Oh.
Those little ones, what do they call them, pronghorns or whatever?
Oh, yeah, pronghorn. Yeah, it could
Maybe
be.
that's what that is. Cool.
Yeah, and then I did use a topaz soft vignette on it, soft features and the vignette.
Okay.
So that gave it the painterly look. It took away some of the detail.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
nice
you.
job, yeah, that works out really well.
Okay, this is a totally different place. This is up in Toronto, taken about 10, 20 years ago. And I'd had this in the black and white, and there was a woman standing right at the bow of the ship there. I think she was part of the tour company that was waiting for the ship to dock. But anyway, I tried the Photoshop take people out tool. Just I selected the person, object selection, and then hit the delete key, and it took most of her away at the time. It was still kind of a ghosting look with the water background. So I actually did the same thing again and took all of the person out. But then I had to go back and recreate the chains going down from the bow or up from the bow to the, whatever the post sticking out there is, the bowsprit or whatever.
Bowsprit, I guess, yeah.
Horsepower.
Horsepower, right.
Horsepower, okay. Yeah. So anyway, I had to do that, and then had to, when I did the deletion, it kind of messed up the water. It was pretty fuzzy. So I had to do a lot of cloning from other sections of the water to make it look a little more consistent. And then let's see, it's also a topaz hummingbird wings filter on it to get some kind of sharp color.
I think I might taken out the chain in the bottom right corner.
Oh, yes.
Good call.
Yep. Yep. I think I did that on the black and white. I did of this.
Yeah, then you don't know that you're shooting from another boat or where.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Did you ever try maybe just circling it with a lasso and do content aware fill?
I didn't use fill. I did. Let's see. I did. I'm trying to remember. I used the content aware pastes someplace to
Okay.
copy, I guess it was.
Yeah, rather than the people delete, maybe just circle it and try that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get the same results or if it will work better, but it might be an alternative.
Yeah, and you say that was content aware fill.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah,
haven't
so
done
like,
that.
you got this guy up here, let's see here. Let's just go up a little bit. You know, maybe just get your lasso tool, and I usually go out a little past them. And maybe I want to leave that in there. Let's see what happens. We do something like this. Maybe I want to add a little more to it. Hold the shift key down and just draw some more. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and then under edit, you got content aware fill and content aware scale, which I haven't,
Oh,
but let's try the fill. Okay. Yeah, kind of gets you there, but you can tell it by the green what you want it to use. And if there's some things in there you don't want it to use, like maybe you don't want it to use this stuff at all,
yeah.
then what you would do is where's my brushes? Oh, there they are. Okay. So if you
Oh, okay.
go like that and get rid of this stuff, say I don't want to use this for
Oh, okay.
fill, but I do want to use this.
Oh, okay.
Just holding your option key down, you can go back and forth between adding and subtracting. Say I want to use this and maybe some of this. Oops, it's wrong. You know, it's already using that. Yeah, so I don't want to use any of that. All right, let's see how that works out.
You take out that mast.
Yeah, it acts like a mask. It's basically telling you where you want to sample from to fill the area that you've highlighted. So I'm telling
Okay.
you, I just primarily want sky, you know, and then it does that. Now there's a little area here it didn't quite get, but you can just clone that out.
Oh,
Yeah, just
okay. I see. Yeah.
yeah. So that's how I deal with that. And you know, if it was in the water, do the same thing.
Yeah.
Probably be easier in the water because you didn't have all these wires and stuff around it.
Right. Yeah.
Basically. And then when you say okay, what it does, you can output it to a new layer or current layer or duplicate layer. I usually just do it to a new layer because then when you're up here, you deselect your selection. You see it's on its own layer.
Oh, I see.
So if you want to add to it, you can do it on that layer without messing around with the one below it. So what you can do then is, you know, just get your clone brush, your stamp tool, and, you know, you kind of come in here and say, I want to, you got to line it up. So I'm going to click on this. And then when you drag and you kind of see where it is. So you line it up. Okay. And then just start cloning that stuff out.
Oh.
And,
Oh.
you know, I want this here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can kind of get rid of that. There you go.
Oh, yeah, that got into the subject a lot deeper than I did.
Yours are retouching. What can I say?
Well, yeah, another rabbit hole to go down.
Oh, yeah.
Danny,
Yeah,
you're a
okay.
magician.
Thanks. Paid the bills for a long time. Okay. Well, thanks, Wendell. Let's see who we got left. Did Jim Bowman come? Let me look.
No,
I don't see him. Well, I guess we'll save him for next time. I guess that's everybody's stuff. I can show you some things. I forgot to show you stuff last week, so I still got some stuff left over from last week here. So that's when Mars was coming outside the moon last week.
Pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. And then It was
Oh,
on a
that's
trip
clever.
with Jim Murphy. We were shooting the skydiving resort up in Eloy. I just took it at Topaz and decided to add a little bit of texture to it.
Mhm.
So was the moon actually there like that, or did?
Yeah.
This is all Photoshop.
Yeah, it was. It's with a 500 millimeter, so it kind of made everything look a lot bigger. Foreshortened it.
It's cool.
Yeah.
There's a shot at 100 millimeter with another guy going across. And then this was a sunset a while back, just zoomed in on the mountains here across the way, Green Valley.
Is that Mount Wrightson?
Yes.
On the left, and then Hopkins on the right.
Yep. Correct.
And you
What
didn't get the
trees?
little house, the little white house up there.
No.
That was good. You had a cloud covering the house. There's a little white house on Hopkins at the very top, but you got to.
Yeah, it's the observatory. Yeah.
Yeah, the observatory.
Right. And then this was flying back with
Better-
Jim. We circle around some of these peaks and got some nice tight shots.
Was this with a drone?
No, we were the drone. We were up in Jim's aircraft.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where is this?
This is coming back from Eloy to Ryan Field.
Mm-hmm.
North of Ryan Field.
So you were in a plane.
Correct. Small plane.
Cool.
And this was after we took off from Ryan Field earlier in the day. It's kind of neat. Yeah. I showed this in the black and white class last week, and these almost look like trees on their own.
Yeah.
On their sides. And then I zoomed into this, and there's a lot of footprints coming around.
Oh.
See, they're heading down to the creek here.
Oh.
Not sure what they are, but
Probably illegals coming to
Yeah.
get water.
yeah.
Well, there would be a post with a flag up, a blue flag on it for them
Yeah.
to find
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
looks more like a group of people here, maybe, or a herd. I don't know. But yeah, I found that was kind of interesting to see those after the fact.
So does anyone remember a magazine? This is back in the 70s called Geo, G-E-O. They were all aerial views.
Uh-huh. Neat.
They were.
Yeah.
Magazine didn't last too long, but
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
they were pretty cool.
Yeah.
Looks like frost on a window too, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It can.
Yep. Except for a little bit of mold on that window.
Yeah, there you go. And then this was just out the window the other day. Well, actually out on the porch.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
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 nice,
That's tighter in. Almost looks like lava.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's all I got.
Very nice.